Welcome to the Public Power Line Minute. Quick conversations on timely topics that are important to AMP members. I'm Zachary Hoffman, Manager of Communications and Publications with American Municipal Power, and in 5 minutes or less, I'll help you to stay up to date on the latest issues of importance. Today, we're joined by Steve Lieberman, AMP's Vice President of Transmission and Regulatory Affairs. Steve, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Steve, in a sentence or two, could you explain to us what PJM interconnection actually is?
PJM interconnection coordinates the flow of electricity for over 65 million people across 13 states. The analogy is that PJM functions like an air traffic controller for the grid. They ensure supply meets demand in real time across the transmission lines. PJM does not generate power, it doesn't own transmission lines, it doesn't set the retail rates. PJM runs auctions to buy and sell electricity on behalf of utilities, balances electricity generation in real time, determines the transmission upgrades and additions that are needed, and manages the interconnection queue for new generation.
And in simple terms, what is the PJM capacity auction and why should our members care about it?
PJM's capacity construct is called the Reliability Pricing Model. The acronym is RPM. The primary goal of RPM is to ensure long-term grid reliability by procuring enough capacity plus reserves to meet forecasted demand. Auctions are held roughly 3 years ahead of the actual delivery year. And an increasingly growing component of the wholesale electric bill is due to RPM, which is why our members should certainly care about it. Rough numbers, about 20% of the wholesale bill is tied to the cost for capacity.
And Steve, more specifically, with the recent auction now complete, where did prices clear and what does that mean for AMP and our members?
Price is cleared at the maximum allowed price for the auction, which was $325 per megawatt day. Not only did prices clear at that cap, but PJM actually failed to procure enough capacity to meet its reliability target by about 6,800 megawatts. So in terms of what does it mean for AMP and our members, prices are remaining at quite a high level compared to history. And we are procuring less reliability for what we're paying for. So we're sort of getting less and paying more.
And looking forward, how do you see things going?
So we do have one more auction this year scheduled for December. And where do I see things going is more of the same, meaning we do have another year or one more capacity auction with a price collar. So that price collar is the same as the one that just happened, so $325 a megawatt day. So I see things probably clearing at that same price. And with 2 auctions in a row falling short of that reliability target, I see that trend continuing. We saw actually less new capacity additions this time than we did the last auction, and we're seeing demand increasing. So it's hard to see a scenario where prices don't clear at the cap and PJM doesn't continue to fall short of its reliability target.
Okay. And if you were speaking to members out there who are wondering, what do we do about this? What might you want them to know?
AMP has the opportunity to try and mitigate exposure to these volatile capacity auctions that PJM runs. It can do that through many different ways: bilateral transactions, self-supply, behind-the-meter generation, etc. These are incredibly valuable tools that AMP has, available to it on behalf of its members. So one thing I would say to our members is, please reach out to our power supply team and discuss, the exposure if you're not sure to these auctions and how can that exposure be mitigated.
Well, Steve, as always, you've taken a complicated subject and you've made it easier to understand. So thank you for joining us and thank you for all the great information.
Thank you.
I'm Zachary Hoffman, your host for the Public Power Line Minute, brought to you by American Municipal Power. Thank you for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to share it and subscribe so you don't miss future conversations on the issues most important to AMP members. You can find the Public Power Line and the Public Power Line Minute wherever you get your podcasts.